We've been talking about AI all throughout the show today, and another industry that people are using artificial intelligence for is for mental health therapy. Our next guest says there are some things to be aware of. So let's talk about it. Joining now in person is Susan Harrington, a licensed marriage and family therapist. So good to see you in person.
I know, what a treat, isn't it?
Come on,
treat?
No AI here. I am so glad we are talking about this because, you know, we were talking during the commercial break about the recent lawsuit against ChatGPT. A poor family lost their son due to trying to get mental health advice from ChatGPT. And I'm so curious, why do you think so many more people are turning to places like ChatGPT, AI in general, for mental health services? Is it the convenience?
So absolutely, it's the convenience. It's also the privacy that they believe that they're getting, that they really aren't, because what happens on ChatGPT is part of the internet. And so it can be put into the system, and so your data can be at risk for breaches, and somebody can misuse it, just like somebody making an AI of you.
Right.
It can be, so our information can be relieved as well. So convenience, privacy, things they believe, and the isolation that happens when people are beginning to struggle. Right? I don't want to share, so there's shame, all those things.
That is so powerful, and let's be honest here, there is nothing like talking to a real person.
Correct.
When it comes to talking to a real person and talking to ChatGPT or really any AI, the language in the conversation is definitely different. How so?
It's definitely different. So when we go to therapy, we talk with the therapist, and the therapist talks with us. When we're talking to a chatbot, we're talking to it, and it is talking at us. Right? So there's no human connection. We have so much neurological evidence for this thing, this eye contact thing, that really realigns a lot of the neurotransmitters. And so what the therapist gives, that's part of that we know works, is they give things like non-conditional, unconditional, non-judgmental, you know, that compassion that comes with therapy. And the other piece that's really important is that the therapist is trained, we are in mental health, to rationally deduce what's happening with someone and make some logical decision about your concern. What a chat system does, those programming system does, is they do logical, circular logic, I'm trying to think of the words, right? We're doing this deduction, and they're doing this circle logic. So they'll take the person back through the same thing over and over and over, and that causes the negative impact.
And there are some major negative impacts. I'm so curious, when someone uses like artificial intelligence, do they like type in things that maybe they would ask a real therapist? I've been stressed, Susan. How can you help?
Yes, and what the chat system will do is it'll come back with, oh, I'm sorry, you're feeling that way. Do you feel that way often? And you'll talk a little bit more. Well, that's just sad that you feel that way. What have you tried to do to fix it, right? And it'll just keep circling you to resolve it.
And where is it pulling from? Is it pulling from like mental health textbooks? Where do they get their information from?
From whatever is on the internet. So not research-based things. So what we're doing in mental health is we're learning how to train a system, a chatbot system, to support someone's mental health, right? So when we train it, we're going to use a research-based pieces. We're going to use therapies and techniques that we've learned through science and research work.
And you studied this, okay? At the end of the day, hopefully you're going to somebody who has been trained. That's such a key point to make. And I'm so curious, there was a study that just came out in August of this year, really researching what actually can happen to a person who uses AI for mental health.
Right, so that study was done by Mount Sinai. And what they discovered is people who use AI for comfort actually get worse instead of better. So they get more anxious, they get more into isolation, they feel more vulnerable, and so they look for quick fix solutions as opposed to real solutions. They get more hopeless. And we have some evidence as well that shows that if a person was already thinking of suicide, that risk increases because of a chatbot use, as opposed to decrease. So what's happening for the person is they're getting supported and drawn into that really friendly voice. I don't know if you've heard the new Alexa. It's a much more relatable voice, and that's an AI voice. It's intentional to bring you in. Wow. Is what it's doing, and so you just end up more isolated. But when we connect with a human being, then what happens is the healing can happen because identified resources and patterns for you can be identified for your specific and individual use.
What's your best piece of advice? Because again, a lot of people, myself included, have used AI as a tool, right?
Yeah.
A starting point. But when trying to look for professional help the good old-fashioned way, what's your biggest tip?
So when people call me and I'm not able to give them the services they need and I'm helping them with referrals, there's 4 things I tell them to do. It's pretty simple. The first is to look at your insurance plan and find the therapists that are going to be on your plan. Then identify those that are either in person, virtual, or both, depending on what you need, right? So now you've eliminated some people based on that process. And then the next thing you do is identify 3 questions. So it's like, do you take my plan? Are you taking new clients? How have you addressed my concern? What's your rate of resolution with people with my concern?
And what's the 4th thing real quick?
And the 4th thing is then interview them, get in the car seat and try them out. Interview them and see which one feels good. Schedule an appointment with the one who felt well.
Come on, well look, if you need someone to talk to, Susan, I'm telling you, is available. Contact her using the number on your screen, or for more information about the services she offers, MaisonVLA.com. All right, stick with us, everybody. So good to see you, Susan.
You too.
We'll be right back.